In 2016, West Ham United left Upton Park, a 35,000-seat cauldron soaked in history, for the London Stadium, a repurposed Olympic venue that cost over £700 million to redevelop. It sounded like a smart move. More seats, more money, more prestige. But the reality, fans were miles from the pitch. The acoustics killed the atmosphere, and the retractable seating was more gimmick than solution. By 2018, supporters were protesting in the stands, storming the pitch, and waving banners that read, "We want our West Ham back."
There are an increasing number of West Ham United supporters massing in front of the director's box. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything quite like this.
The club didn't even own the stadium, they leased it, which meant millions in rent, no control over matchday experience, and zero legacy. Even the players hated it. Mark Noble once called the atmosphere soulless. The only thing louder than the booing, the echo of a missed opportunity. Highbury wasn't just a stadium, it was Arsenal's identity. So when the club bulldozed it in 2006 to build the £390 million Emirates Stadium, fans were promised a future of dominance. What they got was debt silence and fourth place parades. The new 60,000-seater looked incredible, but paying for it meant a strict budget.
It's all about how much it costs to go and watch Arsenal. Category A game today, £64 minimum ticket. It's just not acceptable.
Arsene Wenger became more accountant than manager. Henry left, Fabregas left, Van Persie left, and lifted the title at Manchester United. Match days turned sterile, songs died, ticket prices hit £1,000 a season while the club sold dreams and season DVDs. The Emirates gave Arsenal world-class revenue, but no trophies for 9 years. Basically, they upgraded their house and accidentally sold the furniture, the dog, and their spine. Tottenham spent over £1 billion on a stadium with a retractable NFL field, a cheese bar, and the longest bar in Europe. The only thing missing, silverware, opened in 2019 after delays and cost overruns. The 62,850-seat Super Arena was supposed to mark Spurs' arrival among Europe's elite, but the timing couldn't have been worse. Mauricio Pochettino was sacked months after the grand opening.
This is now confirmed. Mauricio Pochettino has parted company tonight with Tottenham Hotspur.
Harry Kane got tired of carrying the team, and the club, trophyless since 2008. Fans started joking the stadium was built for Beyonce, not football. White Hart Lane was tight, fierce, and unforgiving. The new place looks like an Apple store with goalposts. In 2011, Juventus demolished the Stadio Delle Alpi and replaced it with the sleek 41,000-seat Allianz Stadium, becoming the first Serie A club to own its ground. On paper, it was a masterstroke. But while the trophies stacked up, something else faded. The atmosphere. Ultras were priced out, corporate seating expanded and attendance dipped. The old Curva Sud was a pressure cooker. The new place, a bit too tidy. And as financial scandals hit, the sleek image cracked. In 2023, Juve got docked 15 points for dodgy accounting, and fans joked the club spent more time in courtrooms than in the Champions League. They wanted a fortress. They got a showroom with a scandal tab. When Atletico Madrid left the Vicente Calderón in 2017, they left more than a stadium. They left their soul.
It's impossible to feel more home than we feel here anywhere else in Madrid.
It looks like you're losing a friend.
The Calderón sat on the edge of the Manzanares River, steeped in chaos, noise, and working-class defiance. Its replacement, the 68,000-seat Wanda Metropolitano, a modern bowl dropped in the outskirts of Madrid like a UFO. It had better toilets, but less heart. Fans complained about the sterile vibe, expensive tickets and 2-hour journeys just to get there. Even Diego Simeone, the manager who built Atletico's identity on grit and rage, admitted it felt different. They swapped intimidation for infrastructure. Calderón was hell to play in. Wanda feels like a business conference with chanting. In 2005, Coventry City left Highfield Road for the £113 million Ricoh Arena, a stadium they didn't own and eventually couldn't even use. Promised a bright Premier League future, they ended up locked in rent disputes, booted out twice, and forced to play 22 miles away in Birmingham. Attendance collapsed. Fans were livid. The club dropped to League Two. At one point, they were literally homeless, like a club couch surfing its its way through English football. They called it the Ricoh Arena, but for years it felt more like the Recall Arena, because all anyone wanted was to go back to when Coventry actually had a home. Only one man thought it was a good idea to build a 25,000-seat stadium for a club averaging 2,000 fans, and he owned the team. In 2003, Darlington FC's chairman George Reynolds pushed through the £18 million Darlington Arena, even though league rules capped capacity to just 10,000 due to local infrastructure. The result, a half-empty void with no atmosphere, enormous upkeep costs, and a team that couldn't afford the rent. By 2012, Darlington went into administration and were expelled from the football. The stadium was auctioned off for £1.2 million, barely enough to buy a Premier League right-back's left boot. Reynolds wanted to make Darlington the Manchester United of the North. He did, for about 5 minutes in FM04. Tucked between yachts and luxury flats, Stade Louis II is football's quietest paradox. Built in 1985 for £55 million, it holds just 16,000 fans, and often can't fill half of that. As Monaco have reached Champions League finals, developed players like Mbappe, Henry and Chouameni, and still play home games in front of what feels like a polite wine tasting. The stadium is stunning, sure, but it sits in a country with fewer people than most London boroughs. Locals don't show up, tourists don't care, and the tax haven vibes don't exactly scream ultras and flares. It's the only ground where Champions League anthems echo like a hotel lobby playlist. Time's up. Thanks for watching.